Hello and welcome to Community Forum. I'm Howard Schwartz, sitting in for John Gagliatino. We're going to do something a little different in tonight's episode. We're going to take you behind the scenes at Community Access to show you how shows like Community Forum are put together. Meet the people who work in the control room, and we'll tell you about the ins and outs of making television. Now, we'll be back at the end of the show to give you a telephone number to call if you would like to volunteer to work on a Community Access show here on Comcast. In the meantime, sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Well, Community Access is an opportunity for residents within a community to produce their own local TV programs, and it can kind of be used as a soapbox to express their political views or religious views, or they can do entertainment programs or sports programs. The content of the shows is really up to the people who are producing the shows themselves. The cable companies are required to provide a community access channel, and the extent to the facilities they provide is determined by the size of the community or the cable system that operates within the community. Well, we've got a lot of local, politically oriented programs. Like, we have a show that's produced by the Bethel Republican Town Committee, and we've had programs over the years by other various town committees from in Danbury and also in Ridgefield. We have a fair amount of religious programming. We've had a lot of weird shows over the years, but one that comes to mind in particular, which is fairly recent, was a show where these two guys, it's kind of a Wayne's World kind of a program, and it was a half-hour show of these guys playing Nintendo baseball. And, you know, and you heard the music playing in the background, and you saw the screen and getting home runs and scores.
It was semi-interactive.
It's very offbeat, yeah, very offbeat stuff. Over the years, we've had quite a variety of shows. We've had everything from music video programs to children's shows to animal programs. Pretty much anything you can think of. One of the biggest challenges that faces community access producers is finding the crew people to help out. It's convenient for people who are coming to us who are involved in groups that are already established, like a town committee or the Red Cross or some kind of civic group, because then they've got a pool of people that they can pull crew people from. Just individual citizens, residents who want to come in and produce shows, they just get friends and family and acquaintances to come help them out and do the technical work in the background.
Oh, weren't they? Christ, they kicked ass. Took a couple names while they were doing it.
The Notre Dame girls are nowhere to be seen.
The people who work in the background on these shows, doing all the technical jobs, are friends and family. I know one of our producers works out at a local gym, and he grabs people at the gym and say, "Hey, you want to work on a TV show?" And he's recruited some people that way. It can just be anybody, really, in the community.
I'm always interested in electronics and camera work, photography, and I like doing this.
It was a new challenge, and I found it very interesting that we are promoting our Republican Party in Bethel. So that's why we're doing it.
I need a seat. See how that looks.
That looks good.
Yeah, to get involved with Access, no one really has to have any previous technical experience or television experience. We provide all the training and teach people how to operate the cameras and set up the microphones and do everything they need to do to produce a TV show.
I don't know how many we have.
So this is how we use a camera.
Okay.
This is camera 2.
Right.
Okay, and you can look through the viewfinder in there and you can see everything on the set.
Okay.
Okay, and you can zoom in and out if you hold it right there, and then you use that button to zoom in and out. To be
Flowers.
you get the flowers, and then turn the focus knob slowly so that you can get the image in focus. That looks good. Now just zoom out. You can do it slower. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And if you want to tilt up or down, you can unlock this. Unlock that,
Yep.
and then you can move it up or down.
Oh, it's fairly tight though, anyway.
And you know, there's this. I'm here to help people produce their shows. I help them do editing if they're doing some editing, and I help them set up the studio with lighting and audio, teach them how to do mics, microphones, as well as just everything in the control room, anything that would help them to get their show produced very well. Wait. I hit insert character first.
Oh, sorry.
And then now you can type, we'll insert it a couple times. And now you can type. So now hit return. Okay. Now it's white. Now you can, if you want to insert space now, you can insert character.
No, I found her very interesting. I speak in English as a second language, which I thought was good because she speaks.
There's so many different elements that come together in a TV program that a lot of people don't realize. If you're just a member of the general public, you're sitting home watching a sitcom and you don't know how it comes together. You come here and it's my job to help show people how it's produced.
Some of the
Yeah. And then to pan right, turn it the other way. So you get it the right shot. And there's those check marks in the box which set the frame. And you can lock that too.
Anything else?
Well, just because they need the support staff, and I show up on occasion when I'm asked.
Yeah. Is it fun?
It's fun. It's interesting.
Is it the kind of thing you thought would be fun when you started off?
Well, I didn't know what to expect when I started off.
If somebody doesn't have that much experience, that will change the way I will train somebody. If you know there's a need for somebody to learn right from the bottom up, as opposed to somebody who already might even know more than me, and they come in here and they're going to show me some things on the cameras. So there's definitely a broad spectrum of people who come in to produce local access shows. Pan left and right. Pan left. Yeah. And then to pan right, turn it the other way. So you get it the right shot. And there's those check marks in the box which
Never ever came out.
Okay, so
Let me
which
just take a look. I gotta
question
get-
am I gonna ask you first?
That brightens her up a little bit, but now we have shadows
Should
under her
say what you
chin.
think people responded to by Tuesday, 26 out of 29.
Gives anyone airtime.
Okay, I can show you how.
Okay, I know I do text edit.
Yep, that
This
is
is Robin
standby.
from Community
I
Forum.
go text edit and then edit,
I like
right?
to watch
Nope,
23 as
space
much as
bar.
possible.
And that puts it up.
Now
I know the
see, now
cast
it's
of
on the-
characters.
And then text edit to get it out of there.
Yeah, and
And,
then
you
take it
know,
off
it's
here.
Now, if I want Daphne.
Color TV.
You can use
I'm gonna
the
do
previous
that.
pane and the next one. They even surprise themselves. They don't expect to do as well as they do, and they come in and they work with a camera. They're really intimidated at first. They're like, "Oh no, don't put me on camera." And we train them how to use the camera, and they get on it, and they love it, and they're like, "Wow, I didn't." It gives them confidence. So it can help them probably in their daily lives as well outside of Comcast, because I think, especially high school students who we have come in, some younger people, and they're more intimidated by using the equipment. But once they get to use it, sometimes people are still intimidated and they need some time to learn. Other people, they'll pick it up right away.
Daphne, no, Daphne is, who's on Daphne?
No, I found her very interesting. I speak.
Insert character first.
Oh, sorry.
And then now you can type, we'll insert it a couple times. And now you can type.
Pass the ammunition.
He's not very
Hey,
talkative.
hey, try and be
He's
professional.
shy.
You want me to be professional?
Very
Yeah.
nice
Oh.
woman.
She is a very nice woman, but she she has one husband. And we should set the record straight on that. I'd also like to apologize to Bob Lecknard, who I have...
For the most part, there are people who are involved in the
Said he
community,
was
the local
only-
community, and they have something to say, I think. They have, they would like to put something back into the community, perhaps, people who would like to give back to the community that might have been given to them, help them out in their lives, so they'd like to, they have something to say, and they share it through their show. Other people use it as their programming as a political forum. We have people who are involved heavily in politics who use their show to get across ideas and let people know what's going on on a different level than you might get with one of the local Connecticut networks that focuses on the big cities like Waterbury or Hartford. Here we have a local understanding, which is better because for the local community to hear things that come close to home that might hit them harder and help them in their own community, makes them feel more important, and they know what's going on locally, which can affect their lives maybe more so than what's happening in Hartford.
The ideal situation is to get a group trained properly so that they can come in and operate as a self-contained unit and can just come in and set up the studio and get down to business. We always have Comcast staff available for, when problems come up or questions or things like that, kind of as consultants. But the staff here is not here to produce the shows for people. We enable them to produce them, but we don't do the work for them. We have a staff here of 3 people, myself and 2 others, and we do the training for groups when they come in and they want to produce a show. Typically the training consists of 4 sessions that are about 2 hours each, and people after that, people know the basic skills to produce a show. They're not going to be producing the NBC newscast yet, but it's enough to get them going. And every time they come in and produce a show, they're learning more along the way, and they develop their skills.
And so we get a wide array of people who come in here, as far as different people who like to volunteer. We have a mother and daughter who come in who come in to help out on one of our shows, and that's great to see a family come in together and want to learn and get to use the equipment. And then I think that also could help them cushion their learning experience, because then they have someone who they know, who they're close with, who's also going through the same process that they are. So that makes them feel probably more at home and more comfortable learning the equipment in our control room and studio. But some people have graduated college and with a degree in communications, and they know what they're doing. Some people, we have professionals who come in from faraway places and who know a lot more than the average person about media. And then we have people who know absolutely nothing and just want to help out, want to learn how to produce a show, and it's our job to show them how to do that.
Cutting edge with services and with the quality.
So what's the partisan makeup going to be of the Board of Finance now?
There will be 3 Republicans.
So what do you look forward to the most about your upcoming term with the Board of Finance?
Not a trick question. Upcoming very minor role, if any at all, other than just stuffing envelopes, but actually this time trying to run the campaign with the likes of with Judy and what issues that she had. I also sort of thought about the idea of perhaps if Judy as first selectman could sort of create a cabinet of sorts.
Is our treasurer. How will that, what will be gained from that?
Well, I think that it's just a better line of communication throughout all the chairs and vice chairs of the different boards and commissions, this open communication. Bob Kozlowski as treasurer, coming to the Board of Finance.
It is sponsored by the Bethel Republican Town Committee. We have political and non-political themes. They mostly spotlight Bethel. Actually, coming up, we're going to have a documentary man on, and we've introduced a lot of the candidates to the public. To use us as an example, there's only about 17,000 people that live in our town, and having cable access allows, just candidates to be interviewed and seen, and people that wouldn't have the opportunity to maybe go meet them and talk to them and everything like that can go ahead and listen to what they have to say and be introduced to them.
I am the chairman of the Bethel Republican Town Committee, and we're going to have just a recap of our recent election. So just talk about the results and just the impressions that we have and what our experiences were. Some of the people that we have working with us are members of the town committee, and then others are just who have an interest in television.
Go to camera 2.
We did have some excellent candidates. Every candidate was really very impressive. I know I met.
I'm going to go to Daphne.
The show was always very impressed with their
Cutting edge with services and with the quality of life.
So January 15th.
To his left a little bit.
Actually, you know what?
Jeez Louise. Cute.
Tighten it up. Tighten up. Okay. There you go.
Oh, he just moved it back, he moved it the other way.
It's confusing on TV.
Yeah, up a little bit, tighten it up.
Take a deep breath.
One,
Thank you.
three, two, two.
No, it doesn't.
So we want to keep both of those up. Once again, in
I
the
like
gray
that
area, we want
big
them to
pin.
be pinned to be exactly at 0. So bring those down, keep going, keep going. Okay, right there. So you want to keep it right there. The pin is exactly at 0.
Yeah.
Count to
What?
10.
Mic check, mic check. Hi. 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
One.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Okay. Sorry, Kenny.
Okay, that's all right.
I gotta stop yakking. I don't.
Who's on him? Richard's off.
Richard, you're off there, honey.
Joe, you need to take off the graphic. You need
Oh, yeah. Judy's made a couple.
I'm not a great fan of that either.
Recommended. No. Neither one of them.
Who are the 5? I haven't even heard.
Well, I know my buddy Dave Carricker is one of them, I don't know the other 4.
Guy Brill.
Okay, can you hear me or not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is this,
Tell her she got too many clothes on to be
don't know how.
Okay.
That was called The Way to the White House. So Mark did all the research. With services and with the quality of life.
Yeah, so free. You guys can hear this? I'll tell you. Hold on, I'll tell you when 30.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. He's getting here too.
Appreciate what he did and that you know that we appreciate your supporting us. And I just want to welcome
Go to 2.
Robert Denninger, the Republican Town Committee Chairman, who is also a member of the Board of Finance. Welcome, Robert.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Now,
I'm
we
going
just,
to
like I
2.
said, been through the elections.
Just for a legal announcement on formation of the next town committee. Our terms are up, and we will be electing a new town committee within the first 2 weeks of January.
And if somebody wants to get involved,
On just about anything, and that would usually grab the first 2 sentences.
so what's the partisan makeup going to be of the Board of Finance now?
There will be 3 Republicans and 4 Democrats.
Well, could be gained by that. I don't know that it's ever been done before, and I think it's a great idea.
I don't know, I haven't looked into the legalities of it at all, but I think that a lot could be gained from the different chairs of each board. Time goes.
Right. Successful.
Yeah, that was nice.
The whole tone of it that I saw from the
Certainly, my 4 years on the Board of Finance, to see this type of report makes that work, the hard work, the time commitment that I've had on the Board of Finance, as well as my other Board of Finance members, Jack Hawkins, Kevin Cleary, Nina, know what's going on, perhaps just more or less a cabinet meeting of all these chairs so that they can get together and find out what's happening and what the different issues are with services and with the quality of life that we have here.
13.
The town's finances.
Let us know at the 10-minute mark. At 18, I'll give you a 10-minute.
We did. We got an excellent bond rating. I'll tell you mine. Some people might get a chuckle out of it, but I was running back from.
Go to
Of course, we were all at the municipal center, wondering where you were.
So now hit return. Now it's white. Now you can, if you want to insert space now, you can insert character.
Frantic campaigning, going door to door. The people of Bethel should know that I nearly, Jim O'Hara going through the Democratic caucus and, perhaps not getting the running mate that he decided that he wanted to have. And, so all
that availability of elected officials is important.
Yeah, I think it's important for the people to try to voice what their questions are, whether it's public input at the different meetings or if it's just correspondence. So they would ask the question. I wanted to be involved and wanted to see Bethel continue to move forward. And so I'm happy to see that they're now have a seat on the board.
You hear rumblings that it almost is like one board is against the other or something.
Yeah.
Because they don't know the inner workings of each other, and that would definitely help with that. Just be open. Now, This was kind of an odd election, to put it.
Our headquarters in the hedge.
Okay, understandable.
And I was going so fast that
Surprised you the most about that?
what surprised me the
Joe's
most.
giving
Or
me
what,
5
what was
minutes.
your first?
Maybe did the 5 minute. I'm watching.
Well,
Maybe there weren't any surprises, you know.
There weren't, according to the papers and all the pundits that were in a recession. And I think one of the goals, one of the main challenges the Board of Finance is going to have.
Time to go. Help them finish their show. Come on, let's go.
Something in government service that far more important. It is a cause bigger than yourself. It is the cause of making this the greatest nation in the world, the leader of the world. Because without our leadership, the world will know nothing but war, possibly starvation or worse.
Now you're going to fade to 4.
In the years ahead,
Serving upcoming shows, wonderful upcoming shows.
Yep, you're just going to fade, but make sure that I hit that first in the audience. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6. Go to the camera.
5, 4,
I'd like to say
3, 2,
thank you for
1.
watching.
Bye-bye.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, audio up. You're supposed to wait until I get to play. Alright. Oops, wrong one.
I don't know how many we have.
I think we're only doing.
Well, we definitely have a broad spectrum of shows, from religious programs to music programs. So there are people who, yeah, if they were to get in the same room, there might there might be definite differences of opinion, but that's great because that reflects our society, and that reflects Danbury, Bethel, and Ridgefield, which are the towns that we represent here at Comcast. So, you know, that's the whole point of local access. People can come in and just, if they have an idea, they pitch it to us and we go with it, and it can be anything from, we have financial programming, you know, like I said, religious shows. So depending on what their ideas are, there's a wide array of things, and yes, there definitely is some, you know, sometimes there's off-the-wall topics too. We might have a show that one week will be very calm, and then the next week we'll have something that's completely different, because that's the format of that show, like talk shows, variety programs, things like that. Yeah, there's some people who I teach more, who need my help, my assistance more. I'm in the studio or the control room to help them out. There's other people who do have their crews. They come in, they're assembled already, and they basically are good to go. They don't really need me to help them. I stand by and watch and enjoy the show with them. So yeah, there's definitely different types of people who come in that respect, as far as bringing their own friends and bringing their own crews in. But we do have a volunteer list here also, which we provide to the producers so that they can select people, give people calls to help them on their programming if they cannot find crew. I've graduated Western Connecticut State University with a Bachelor's of Arts in Communications. My strength was media arts. Television was my focus. I have had experience on one motion picture to this day, and let's see, I've worked on 3 different television programs, national television programs. So just kind of broadening my experience here. And I actually interned here at Comcast when I was in college several years ago. So that's how I got my foot in the door here and got to know the people and the programming, and here I am. I definitely think local access is a great way for people to come out and test their skills and knowledge and learn about media. If they really have a desire and dream for going into television or film or something like that, I would definitely suggest getting involved and coming down and doing a program here. Even if it's just helping out and volunteering on the show, you have to have your own program. But I definitely think it's an excellent way for people to learn and get back to their community and get involved that way. Yeah.
During the summer months in particular, we have an internship program where we will have college students who are going to school for broadcasting and communications come in, and several of them have gone on to work at network affiliate TV stations here in Connecticut. So it is a good training ground for some young people to get good experience. Yeah, as much as we promote it, and the channel is on the air every night of the week, but I think there's still a lot of people who don't quite understand what community access is all about, and that it's available to them. I think a lot of people think that the programming appearing on our channel is produced by Comcast, and it really is not. Comcast does produce some of the shows here, but by and large, all of the shows are just produced by regular people who live in the community. Someone could be trained on operating a camera, but perhaps the sound person might not show up on a particular evening. So that cameraman might wind up getting a crash course on how to operate the audio board and wind up doing audio for that night. And that kind of thing does happen around here, but people learn and they can operate the equipment. It's not nearly as difficult as it might appear to be. We don't really have any surveys telling us how many viewers there are out there, but we have we do get an idea from when we do live call-in type shows. Depending on the topic of the program, if it's something controversial, the phone will just be ringing off the hook, which tells us a lot of people are home watching. And then the people who are hosts and appear on the shows here regularly, they're constantly stopped in the street, and people say, hey, I saw your show the other night on Channel 23. So they get a lot of response that way. So, from those kinds of things, we do know that people are out there watching. Well, there are certain limitations. We don't allow nudity, and some certain language is not permitted on the channel. But, it's really an example of people exercising their First Amendment rights of freedom of speech.
That's all the time we have tonight for Community Forum. We hope you enjoyed our peek behind the scenes show, and perhaps we even sparked your interest in participating in the production of a community access show. No experience is necessary. You'll get all the training you need right here. If you'd like to get involved, we're always looking for people. You can call the number on your screen. The Community Access Coordinator is Dave King here at Comcast, and his telephone number is 792-1265. That's 792-1265 during business hours. I'm Howard Schwartz, and thank you for joining us here on Community Forum.